Hey guys, we are here to talk about a new skill in reading this week, and that skill is theme. Last week we learned how to infer, how to use our clues in the text and our schema, our background knowledge to figure out what's actually going on. And today we're going to talk about theme, okay? So with theme, we can actually use inferring to help us. It's never going to go out and just say the theme of this story was, but we can use inferences to help us figure out the theme. We can infer feelings and traits of characters. We can infer the meanings of unknown words. We can use inferences for lots of things to help us figure out theme. So, to tell you what theme is the message or the moral of the story, the lesson that the character learned. So, the way we can figure that out is by looking at the character's actions, their thoughts, their feelings, their words, how they respond to problems that come their way. That will help us to find the theme. So I want to give you an example from a story that we all know, The Three Little Pigs, right? What could some possible themes be for that story? Now, there can be more than one theme, actually. Most stories do have more than one theme. In earlier grades, when you're littler, there's usually just one theme, but now that you're in fourth grade, we're stepping it up. We're in harder texts, so there's going to be more than one. One theme of The Three Little Pigs could be laziness, right? Because the first pig built his house out of straw and finished quickly, but he got eaten because he was lazy. There's my evidence, the way he acted and the choices that he made, right? Another theme from that story could be hard work, because the third pig, here's my evidence, works hard to build his own house out of bricks, so the wolf is unable to blow his house down. There's just two possible themes, and there could be more. So let me show you. This is a paper that normally I would have you glue in your journal, but since you aren't here right now, it's just going to be a handy link that I have for you. When we get here next week, we'll glue them in. Here are some common themes you might see. Compassion or care for others. Equality, treating people the same. Being yourself, even when other people aren't. Friendship, being a good friend, never giving up. Sometimes jealousy. Keeping traditions, like things that your family does. Keeping traditions alive, that should all be together. Loneliness, anger, cooperation or teamwork, bravery, ooh, actions have consequences. Self-control, making good choices. Fairness, kindness, like treating others the way you want to be treated. Hope, determination and hard work, not giving up, right? Acceptance, overcoming adversity or challenges that come your way. Peace, loyalty, ooh, being a loyal friend, taking a stand, family, and good will triumph evil. Those are all some examples of themes that you might see. Here are some theme statements that you might have. Always be kind to others. Money can't buy happiness. Good can come from bad. Persistence pays off. Crime doesn't pay. Be careful what you wish for. Don't judge people by their appearances. Love conquers all. Sacrifice brings reward. Honesty is the best policy, always telling the truth, right? Human beings all have the same needs. Accept others' differences. You can do anything you put your mind to. Hard work will be rewarded, and family is important. Now, are those all the themes in the whole world? No, those are just some of them. But when you're looking for the theme, this link right here, and I put it in your slide, keep this link handy so you can remember common themes. This would be a great one to look at to figure out, is this maybe a theme that's going on here? So we are going to use a text that is familiar to us. We're going to use the text missing. I didn't want to give you a brand new one where you're trying to figure out what's going on and also find the theme at the same time. So we're going to use a story that you already know, and instead of inferring, we're going to look for the theme of this story. So I want you to read along with me, and when I find a possible theme or lesson in the story that the character learned, I'm going to stop and put it on my chart, okay? Here we go. This is what your chart is going to look like. You're going to put possible themes on one side and evidence with words, actions, pictures, events on the other. Here we go. Linus stood at the front door of his house and willed his eyes to see as far as they could. The sun was going down, and the trees threw shadows that looked like bars across the lawn. Up and down the street, one at a time, his neighbors started turning on their lights. Somewhere out there, his cat Taxi was lost. I don't feel like there's any theme so far. He's not really responding to anything. I know his cat's lost, but I don't know how he's responding to this problem. What if he was cold or hungry or scared? Taxi slept in bed with Linus every night, curled up by his feet or lying right on Linus's head. In the morning, as soon as the sun came up, Taxi would start licking Linus with his sandpaper tongue. What would Taxi do now? He had never been outside before, ever. Sometimes the latch on the front door had gotten loose and the spring breeze blew it wide open with a bang. Outside, a garbage truck was backing up and beeping loudly, and a metal trash can flew over and clanked against the sidewalk. Taxi got scared like he always did, but instead of bolting up the stairs and into Mom's closet, he ran outside. He's a cat, Dad said gently. Cats are very smart. He'll be back. Linus couldn't help the tears from stinging his eyes. Mom drew him for a hug. Taxi will find his way back home. Man, I don't see a theme so far. I want to see how Linus responds to this. So far, he's just sad, but he's not really doing anything about it. It was dark out, so even if they could walk around and knock on the doors of the neighborhood, it was too late. But now, because of the lockdown, they couldn't even do that. It already felt like everything he cared about had been taken away. School was closed. Baseball season had ended before it ever began. He couldn't visit his best friend Nick. No movies, no Sky Zone. Their vacation to the Jersey Shore in July had been canceled. No Sunday morning breakfast at Orm's Diner. But losing Taxi was the worst, most horrible feeling of all. Mom came into his room that night and sat at the end of his bed. She rubbed two lumps that were his feet under the covers. Listen, tomorrow morning, early, before anyone else is out, she said, we can put on our masks and tape posters up all around the neighborhood. Linus felt the tiniest bit of hope growing in his chest. Ooh, that reminds me of hope. And that makes me think maybe a possible theme. Let me scroll up here. Sorry, one possible theme could be don't give up hope. Now, I explained my thinking and then I used a quote. I said that Mom tells Linus they can try to put up missing posters tomorrow, and Linus felt the tiniest bit of hope growing in his chest. Linus isn't giving up hope. So that tells me that this could be a possible theme right here. Don't give up hope. All right, let's keep going and reading more. Also, the way that I got these things and highlighted the text really quickly was just by going back to the story, highlighting and copying and pasting it, so you don't have to do extra work to type out every piece of evidence. All right, there's one possible theme, but let's keep reading. I'm going to read this page of that to try to find more themes. A few blocks away, Mr. Sampson sat at his window. There wasn't much else for him to do. Oh, what is Mr. Sampson feeling, this character? He sounds lonely to me. In fact, there wasn't anything else for him to do. I think that loneliness could be an example. Mr. Sampson is lonely, and I quoted this. A few blocks away, Mr. Sampson sat at his window. There wasn't much else for him to do. In fact, there wasn't anything else for him to do. He was supposed to be in California with his daughter and her husband by now. They were about to have their first baby, a daughter, his first grandchild, but with the pandemic, he couldn't go anywhere. That is a piece of evidence that tells me that he's feeling loneliness and that could possibly be another theme. Let's keep going. His daughter had sent him a computer so they could visit. Oh my gosh, that's sweet. Does that tell me that family is important to them? He took it out of the box and plugged it in. It made noises and lit up. There was a keyboard and little images and places to type things in. He followed all his daughter's instructions, but he could never get the internet part to work. Finally, he just gave up. We can still talk on the phone, sweetie, he told his daughter. I think this shows me that family is important. Both of those quotes told me that. So I typed those both out, and I also added a comment. I said, Mr. Sampson's daughter sent him a computer just so she could talk to him. And when he couldn't figure it out, he still wanted to make time for her on the phone. So that shows me that family is really important to them. Okay, let's keep going. He hung up the phone and walked back to his chair, by the window, and sat down. The grass was coming back to life and the trees were unfurling little green offerings to the sky. He lifted the window and let the warm breeze blow in. But what was that loud whining sound? It wasn't a crow. The chatter of a squirrel, perhaps? Mr. Sampson pushed himself up from his chair, leaned out onto the ledge, and looked down. Sitting there on the wet grass, gazing up at him, was a little lost cat. By 8 a.m., Linus and his mom had put up 25 posters all over the neighborhood. That's a lot of work. I think that shows me determination. By 8 a.m., Linus and his mom had put up posters all over the neighborhood. They are not giving up on finding Taxi and are doing all that they can. They are determined to find him. That could be another possible theme. All right, I would finish up the rest of this, but to save time, I'm not going to finish this text. You're going to finish the rest on your own. So this is your job today. Your job today is to go to this link here, and it'll take you to this story that we're reading right now, Missing. And you're going to read the rest and complete the graphic organizer in your Google Classroom classwork tab. It's called Theme Missing. Now, this is what it looks like. It looks just like mine, except I already filled mine in, so you need to fill yours in with at least 4 possible themes. Now, I've read this text and I know that there's 4 or more possible themes that you could find throughout the rest of this text. So you're going to read the rest of Missing. You're going to read page 13 and page 14 of Missing, okay? And as you read those, you're going to type possible themes. Remember, you've got this common themes chart that could help you, and you need to type evidence. That could be quotes, that could be words of the characters, actions, events, pictures, anything that the character is doing to try to solve the problem to help them. Now, when you scroll down right here, it says overall theme. So we found 4 different themes already, and you might find 4 more, or you could find those same ones in different places. But in the end of a story, you need to try to figure out what the overall message that the author was trying to teach the reader. What's the overall lesson of the story, message, something that you could learn from the character and apply to real life. Now, I'm not talking about look both ways before you cross the street. I'm saying a life lesson. So after you've read the rest of this story and you think about the themes that I found and the themes that you found, decide which one is the most important theme, not your opinion, but really what do you think the character really wanted you to take away from it? And at the very bottom, tell the overall theme and give your strongest pieces of evidence. Make sure you turn that in. I hope you enjoy reading Missing again, but finding something different, looking for the theme. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. See ya.